Hi, I'm Laura from Premier Software. I am the corporate manager for the team at Premier. We have provided spa, leisure and management systems since 1994 to manage everything from treatment bookings to membership administration.
My name is Amanda Winwood. I am the founder and managing director, which is very posh, of Made for Life Organics in Cornwall. And we are a 100% organic skincare company. We hand blend everything still in Cornwall, and I love that. The thing I'm most proud of, though, is that we've changed lives. So we launched Cancer Touch Therapy training in 2006. And we train therapists to be able to throw those spa doors wide to people going through cancer.
How did this partnership come about?
How did this partnership come about?
I attended SpaFest last year for the first time, and I've known Amanda through industry connections and conferences that we've been to, and have always admired the work that Made for Life does to help open doors to people on their cancer journey. During the conference, a lady was on stage there and she talked to us about her experience. She'd been to a spa, she'd gone for treatment, she too had been through a cancer experience, and they had said, no, you can't have that treatment. And she was devastated. At that time, I was sat there in the audience, and very similar experience happened to me. So back in 2014, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and many of our spa clients had invited me to their spas, come and recover, come and have a treat, let us look after you. And I went, I took my best friend, we had a really lovely day. And when I went through for my treatment, they looked at my medical history and said no. And that was at a time when I really needed that care, was the biggest barrier. And I sat there in the audience full of tears, as did a lot of people, because there were quite a few people in that room that have been touched by cancer, and just thought that can't happen, that we can do something as suppliers in the industry, and we can say enough, let's stop that from being a barrier.
And this news was announced by the lovely Laura, who I've known for quite some time, and we've talked about her cancer journey. And I cried as well, because you know what, when you want to make a change, you need impeccable partners that are driven by a heartfelt desire to make change. And so some people you don't want to partner with, and some people it comes from a really good space. So this is an amazing partnership on every level.
My aim for the partnership is to introduce anybody who is already working with Premier or considering coming on board with Premier, to be able to introduce them to Amanda and the team at Made for Life, to encourage them to work with you, have the training and open their doors to anybody that is going through a cancer diagnosis or after and living with it, to be able to know that they can still come to spas safely.
Yeah. And my aim and our aim, well, probably both our aims, is, you know what, when we started this, 96% of spas were turning people away with cancer. That's appalling. So our aim for this partnership is to turn that from 96% saying no to 96% go, come on in. You are welcome. So the importance of spas being able to open their doors and be inclusive is a fundamental belief that Made for Life has, is that wellness should be accessible to everybody. There are a plethora of all sorts of issues. Cancer is affecting now 1 in 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer. That represents 50% of our population. 50% of human beings will be touched by cancer. So even thinking of refusing 50% of the population is just not good. And then we've just gone through 2 years of COVID. There are people with long COVID who are suffering with mental health issues and all sorts of other issues. for me, and I believe that that's part of what this partnership is about, is that fundamental core belief that wellness should not be restricted to one sector of society. It should be just simply a opening of those doors and saying, come and feel better, because we can help. So a lot of spas and salons that we've worked with, they've had issues in terms of training at colleges. So we've even gone into colleges now to re-educate colleges. Originally, colleges were training that cancer was a contraindicated treatment and not to go near anybody with cancer. So we've broken down those barriers. So that's been number one. If people are told that, then there's just fear. So people go into fear. I've seen the face of fear on many therapists, and then they do the training. It's just like, oh yeah, hooray. Number two is that a lot of insurance companies wouldn't insure people and salons and spas to welcome somebody in with cancer, in contradiction to the DDDA. But anyhow, we won't go there. But what's happened now is, because we are accredited by the Complementary Medical Association and endorsed by CIBTAC, which is recognised, BABTAC and many other insurers will just go, absolutely happy with this training. Our training is insured globally, and when therapists and or salons and or spas train with us, they have our insurance too. It's all good. So the Cancer Touch Therapy course is pretty detailed. Actually, it takes 3 days of training. So day 1 and day 2 really look in depth at the types of cancer that there are, the types of treatments, what's contraindicated by people's cancer, and we make sure that the therapist has a really good awareness of what they're dealing with. It also covers empathy, how to look after people going through cancer, what they may feel like, and they don't want sympathy, they want empathy, so we cover that. We train the methodology of how people can adapt treatments to welcome anybody, irrespective of what level they are in their journey of cancer. So anybody at any stage of treatment can come in. And finally, we do the practical side, so people actually get to experience the touch and to give the touch. So generally at that stage, we actually get people going through cancer to come in and help the therapist complete their final assessment. So it's very detailed, very thorough, and we don't pass anybody unless they hit an 80% pass rate. So it's really important to us that people really understand and know what they're doing.
If you would like to take advantage of the Made for Life training, you can register your interest on our website, premiersoftware.uk, and then click on the link there for Made for Life. Or you can contact our sales team by telephone, by email, or by chat on our webpage. We can then provide a code that will validate with Amanda and the team at Made for Life, and then they can then book in the training course and offer a 25% discount to anyone who wants to take advantage of that training. My ambitions for this, and we talked about this at SpaFest, from a small acorn, a mighty oak tree will grow. And if we can start 2022 with helping more spas open their doors or not even turn people away, by the end of the year we'll have a forest. And I just think if we can reduce the number of people that are being turned away from spas, that is ultimately, this can just go on and on.
I agree. So our ambition, our joint goal and ambition, is to change that 96% who say no to 96% say
yes.
Yes.